Welcome to Detroit's finest, the first ever muscle car, the 1966 Pontiac GTO. As you can see, it's not exactly short, it's about 6 meters long, which in feet is about 350. Proper Detroit metal and muscle, all steel body. That's how you know it's American. I mock, but honestly, fewer cars have as much character as this one. I'm amazed. I'm not really an American muscle car guy. I usually prefer steering feel, lighter weight, 4-cylinder Italian cars. But this thing, the character's undeniable. And it's pretty much all about that engine and that 4-speed gearbox. The Hurst shifter is a legend in its own right. The 389 cubic inch tri-power V8 is a legend in its own right as well. The GTO is the first ever muscle car. So it was developed by John DeLorean, who's known for the DeLorean motor car, the DMC-12, but that was much later. That was being developed in the late 70s. Very different ethos to this car. The GTO moniker was initially just an option on the Pontiac Tempest. It was a power option, which boosted the power, I think, to 300 or 330 horsepower. But then in 1966, it became its own model, the GTO. This one is a hardtop coupe. I say coupe usually, but it's American. It's a hardtop coupe. So no B-pillar in the car. Put down that window there. And you put down that window there. Wonderful. And when you're driving, this is just fantastic. When the weather's good like it is now, quarter windows here that rotate outwards. And so what this does at speed is it basically funnels air towards you. It's superb. A brilliant solution. Wing mirrors are a bit useless, but when you're going faster than everyone else, it doesn't really matter. These are Le Mans wheels, not Le Mans, which is the correct pronunciation, Le Mans, because it's American at the end of the day. These tires look classic, but they're actually modern, which is great. You need that. I'm actually going to close these windows because this location has a lot of wasps, which has scared the living daylights out of our assistant cameraman, who has an immense phobia for them. Talk amongst yourselves. Well, I took a little down about an hour ago. Took a look around me which way the wind blows. The sound of Detroit. Let's take a look at the engine. 3 very distinct sounds from the United States of America. One is the Bald Eagle, one is Lynyrd Skynyrd, and the other one is the sound of Detroit metal. There you go. So there's your 389 cubic inch V8 motor. So it's just under 6.3 liters. It's a tri-carb, so you've got 3 twin barrel carburetors. When you put some throttle input in, I'd say about 50% of the way, it's only this central carb that's activated. And then when you push that extra bit harder, all 3 activate. And that's when you get the full 360 horsepower. I think we went up to 60. Intelligently, this car has an aluminium or aluminum aftermarket radiator, so I've never seen the temperature go beyond 95 degrees centigrade, which for a car 5 years older than the country we're standing in is pretty good. You also have the vintage air unit, not a cheap thing to buy, but definitely well worth it for these older cars. Big heavy duty compressor. And this car's actually matching numbers throughout. So for those of you who don't know what matching numbers is, it means that this is the exact engine block that came with this exact chassis, that came with this exact body. So this example was actually restored in the early 2000s. And if you stand next to it, you see immediately that it's pretty impressive that it's lasted this long in this condition. Gotta love these headlights, one above the other. Another great thing about the GTO is it has GTO badges everywhere. Now, why is it called GTO? Well, it's called GTO because Pontiac just stole the name from the Italians. GTO in Italian stands for Gran Turismo Omologato. So homologation road cars, essentially. Pontiac saw this. They saw that the Ferrari 250 GTO was gaining great success in Le Mans, so they just took it. Fast forward a few years, there was a Pontiac GTO The Judge, the famous The Judge, that came in yellows and oranges, I'm not sure what other colors. But The Judge was also stolen as a moniker, as a name, from a famous TV show in the 1960s. So, I don't know. I think back in the 60s, the US had the same relationship with copyright infringement that the Chinese do for the last 50 years. Like all huge American GT cars from the 1960s, you have a huge boot, or as you say in American, a trunk. And honestly, it's enough to fit 2, maybe even 3 bodies of dead cameramen. Not bad. A most capacious boot. Look, I know I'm a bit stuck in the past, but the music was better in the 60s, the cars were better in the 60s. It's when driving cars was dangerous, but making love was safe. Today it's completely the other way around, right? On a road like this, the car is well suited. Straight, the occasional mild corner, lean back, play some classic rock and roll. Usually I'm not into American muscle cars because I like handling, you know, it's like old Uncle Seinfeld once said, the feel of the wheel seals the deal. But if you're going to buy this car truly on steering feel, then the deal is very much not sealed. Honestly, if your doctor tells you that you have a testosterone deficiency, he really should prescribe you a Pontiac GTO. It brings out, how to put it, misbehaving gene that I think is in all of us. And a few cars do that. The Ferrari F40, the Renault Clio RS, you can't help but drive them at the speed limit. But no, you can't help it. I mean, there's so much character, the engine is so characterful. You could also enjoy it on a very long drive. I would happily drive this all the way to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Just straight roads, relaxed, put on some music. Has to be classic American rock. You can't listen to classic British rock in this. You also can't listen to JZ or electric music. It doesn't suit it. You ruin it. You can't smoke a vape while driving this car. And besides, you have a wonderful ashtray over here. Smoking's bad though, huh? And you have 2 ashtrays in the back. So that's for your nieces and nephews to use, you know? Ashtrays for the children. It was very important in the 60s. This is when safety standards were very different to 2024. I mean, the seat belts are a great example of that. You know, I think they would do more harm than good. They're lap belts. I am wearing it, you just can't see because of my gut. But it doesn't have a collapsible steering column, so in a head-on collision, it will stab you in the heart. I imagine all the seatbelt will do will hold your hips in place while your legs and your torso fire forwards and get eaten by the tricarbs. I mean, anytime I'm in a car like this and I look around at all these plastic, modern Chinese, Japanese cars, I just look and think, why do you spend 250,000 dirhams on that? Why don't you get a muscle car? Make it reliable, enjoy it. You bought the wrong car. Anyway, look, if you value driving experience over anything else, then you do that. If you're not interested, then who cares, I suppose. 4-speed Hurst shifter as well, and many, many other options. It's amazing when you go back in time and see what pre-inflation prices were. It's unbelievable. Today, if you want to spend about 12,000 dirhams on a car, it's about $3,674. Not sure if that's in focus. Look at that. $3,600. So what's that in Arab Emirati dirhams? That's about 15k. Used Nissan Sunny. 4-speed manual option was $184. I mean, I would have given them at least $185. Radio push button, lamp in the luggage compartment, lamp in the glove box. Ooh, the lamp in the glove box was an expensive option. That was $2.79. Anyway, let's skip to the important bits. Wheel discs, custom. Power steering, Wonder Touch. I'm doing Wonder Touching now. And where's that manual? Knob cust, 4-speed gear shift. Wow, that's fantastic. And it's by no means slow, as the masterful cameraman Mr. Mayur will attest to. Mayur, is this a slow car?
Nope, it is not.
I concur. I concur. Do you concur?
I concur.
I concur. Bye. You bought the wrong car, sir. And that there is a golf buggy with a kid. Hello. That's a man with a lot of hair. I feel emasculated. Let me touch the GTO and feel emasculated again. There you go, testosterone. I'm opening, don't worry. Oh, dead body is not. If they say I never I flex my muscles a bit because it's on camera. I don't know if you can see that. Look at the definition. That's 2% body fat, by the way.